But White House officials now say, and they really have been teeing this up, that now it looks like the president will take some major executive action over the course of the summer or right after Labor Day, and may even consider deferring the deportations of millions of more illegal immigrants. Congressman King, if he does that, if he goes ahead and unilaterally decides to defer deportations of millions of immigrants, what are you going to do about it?
Well, none of us want to do the thing that's left for us as an alternative. But if the president has decided that he's simply not going to enforce any immigration law, or at least not against anybody except the felons, which essentially he has done already, this is a broader group of people. I think Congress has to sit down and have a serious look at the rest of this Constitution, and that includes that I word that we don't want to say. And I only say that now on this program because I want to encourage the president, please don't put America into a constitutional crisis. Please don't do that. There's too much at stake in this country to be deciding that you can take over the Constitution and write it at will.
But you're saying that if he were to do that, then impeachment would be on the table.
I think then we have to sit down and take a look at that. Where would we draw the line otherwise? If that's not enough to bring that about, then I don't know what would be. We've never seen anything in this country like a president that says, I'm going to make up all immigration law that I choose, and I'm going to drive this thing regardless of the resistance of Congress. That's why I push so hard to get the DACA language out into this legislation that we just passed. It says, Mr. President, you can't do this. It's unconstitutional, and you know it. We want to stop the funding off to implement or enforce DACA. That's the message on.
We got less than a minute left, and I want to bring in Congressman Jeffries. You know, back in 2008, some members of your party, Democrats, filed bills to impeach George W. Bush for his conduct of the Iraq War. Is this any different than what Democrats did to President Bush?
Of course, it's completely different. House Republicans are clearly taking us on a march toward impeachment. And whether
did Democrats take, excuse me, sir, did Democrats take the House on a march towards impeachment in 2008?
Not at all, because then Speaker Nancy Pelosi clearly said impeachment is off the table. Congress has several other
Basically, that's what John Boehner said this week too, sir.
John Boehner did not say that. He did not make an unequivocal statement. And to the extent that John Boehner has taken definitive positions before, such as we are not going to shut down the government, he moved forward and shut down the government for 16 days, costing the American people $24 billion in lost economic productivity. So there's no real credibility there. We're not clear who actually is running the House of Representatives. Ted Cruz, the junior senator from Texas, seems to have outsized influence. That's why we're concerned. But, Chris, the focus really should be on doing what's right for the American people, dealing with the pocketbook issues important to the middle class and those who are striving to be part of the middle class.
We're going to have to leave it there. Obviously, a conversation to be continued.
Hakeem wasn't here, but Chairman Conyers held impeachment hearings against George Bush and Dick Cheney. He held those hearings. They took place. He wasn't here. Hakeem wasn't here to see that.
Okay. Well, that's because he's a